Hi, I'm Sam, your resident fantasy reader,
And I'm Morgan, your romance reader, and we welcome you to Just One More Page.
where it's never just one more page.
Yay! Christmas time is here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm being sarcastic.
I mean, it's fine because I already bought one. Actually, no, I have 2 Christmas gifts bought so far. One for you and one for my husband.
Oh, I bought a couple Christmas presents already. There's a sale going on. It's like almost 50% off of candles where I shop a lot. And I'm not kidding you. I smell so many candles, all Christmas smells. And I bought like 15 candles. No, I lied. I bought 7, but
See,
they're a
after a
lot.
while, that like you sniff enough candles, I feel like they all start to smell the same because my nose is just like overworked.
Well, do you want to know what my favorite smell is? Do you know what my favorite scent is?
You like earthy tones, don't you?
Kind of. But there's one exact scent that's my favorrit scent.
What's that?
Tree.
Earthy.
Balsamic. Not balsamic. No,
Oh.
balsamic.
Balsamic vinaigrette.
The balsam. What's it called?
Balsam. Yeah, balsam trees.
The one I have right now is balsam and fir. And I bought like 5 candles of the same scent. The lady checking me out looked like at me like I was crazy. But I'm like, don't mind me. I just need to buy a bunch of tree scents because I miss Vermont. I miss Vermont because I miss the snow and miss, all the Christmas stuff. But I don't miss the cold because no thank you. But anyways, how's your week been, Sam? Anything new? Anything exciting?
No, not really. Oh, I got my copy of Iron Flame 3 days late, so that was fun. So, and I knew it was going to happen because that's Books A Million. But if you pre-order from Books A Million or Barnes & Noble, never going to come in on time. Ever. And I've learned that, but I also know that anytime I order anything off of Amazon, it never comes incorrect or like the dust jacket is ripped or a page is pushed in. At least like Books A Million and Barnes & Noble, they appreciate books and it's not like mass market, so they package it much nicer. Like this thing was like bubble wrapped and tight in the box. Like nothing was going to happen to it, which is really nice. Everyone who pre-ordered off of Amazon has been getting these like funky freaking copies.
Because it's Amazon.
Yeah. So one person, their binding, like the book's called Iron Flame and their binding said Fourth Wing. And one person's copy was completely upside down. One person, the like embossing on the side was like on top of the book, like over the binding. I've seen people whose books start on chapter 32. I've seen, because there's sprayed edges, like bleeding into the pages. And so I'm sitting here, because I haven't gotten my copy yet, going, what is this thing gonna look like? Like now it's a true surprise of like, am I going to get a normal copy where I can actually read this book, or am I gonna get some funky ass copy that I'm gonna have to return or keep and just be like, hey guys, look. But Rebecca Yarros is starting to cause some waves in the book community, but I won't go into it on this podcast. Just if you know, you know.
What's she doing? I don't know. Tell me. I want to know the tea.
So there's
Sam, wait. Is this something we can add into the podcast? If not, I'm just going to cut it out and I'll show my reaction.
Yeah, just cut it out.
Please enjoy the music as Sam tells me about the tea. So, culture appropriation. I got it. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just going to say nothing.
On a fun note, I'm going to a wedding this weekend. I don't have to work.
Woo, fun. What am I doing this weekend? I'm going out for coffee. I'm going to have coffee at my local coffee shop. And yeah, I'm really excited about that. And there's something else exciting happening, but I can't remember.
I feel like this week was way more eventful. And now that I'm thinking about it, it really wasn't that
Honestly, it really does feel like it was. But besides the cultural appropriation, let's talk about this book, Sam.
Where there's no cultural appropriation, because it's just you.
I mean, I guess I don't know. There could be in this world.
If you're an ogre.
If you're an ogre trying to be like a wizard, listen, I don't know. I'm not here to judge. I don't know.
Listen, I hope you at least mildly enjoyed this book because it's like based in the world of Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to talk about that part too. So if you guys are curious, today we're going to be talking about a cozy fantasy, and the cover of the book, it does say that this book is like a warm hug, which I kind of agree and I disagree. But this book is called Bookshops and Bonedust by Travis Baldree.
Baldree.
Baldree. Okay, so this is actually a prequel to Legends and Latte, a book that I've seen all over TikTok a year ago, in which now I'm thinking about it, Sam, maybe we should have read the first one.
Well, so, I mean, this whole story takes place before that story takes place.
I do agree that, like, you can go into this blind, but I feel like it would have been better if maybe we read the first book.
Yeah, maybe.
Let me just explain what the book's about. Anyways, this book follows Viv, who is injured while working as a mercenary and is left at a sleepy town of Mulk to recover. Viv is worried that she is too far from the action and that she might never get back to it, but she doesn't realize that Mulk may have an adventure in store for her. This book contains found family, a gnome with a chip on her shoulder, a summer fling, books, and a skeleton that will steal your heart. Now, Sam, rating, what did you think?
I gave it like a 3.5.
Really? I thought you were going to really like this one.
Yeah, 3.5. I'll explain later.
Ooh, okay. You want to go, like, no, non-spoiler?
Non-spoiler. So this book, the best way to describe it is what they call slice of life, which if you watch anime is like an episode where it's just them living their lives and just doing whatever. I don't know. I feel like because it was marketed as like a cozy fantasy, I was kind of hoping for like more, because there's like this like whole like bookshop storyline that goes along, and I was kind of like, I don't want to spoil anything about this book. I don't know. I was just hoping, I just wanted to like more fun, and like I wanted shenanigans and like, I don't know, her being weird and Viv being weird and awkward because she's this like tough, rough, gruff ogre. And is she an ogre? I think she's an ogre. And she's like wounded and ends up in this town. And I just wanted like shenanigans to happen. I don't know. I was expecting more like laughs and fun. And it was just kind of like, we're going to fix this board. We're going to paint this wall. I don't know. It just wanted the slice of life with a little more life to it, like a little more fun. It just kind of felt like we were reading someone's diary for the day, like, I went to town today, and then I went.
Well, I guess that is cozy fantasy, though. Isn't that cozy fantasy, though, where it's not like huge? It's not
no,
like
I just wanted fun. I wanted like, I don't know, them to like get into some trouble and like shenanigans. I wasn't looking for big fight scenes and everything. I don't know. I just felt like I was reading someone's diary.
You didn't want to watch the home channel of them redesigning a bookstore.
Yeah, it's just like, I went and did this, and then I went and did that, and then I went and did this, and then that's what it felt like. How it was reading was like it wasn't until the end where they kind of like started doing some more stuff that I was like, okay, this is a little more interesting.
I honestly kind of think for me that I really want to like it because like I love found family. That's one of my favorite tropes of all time is found family, which is weird to say as a romance reader because found family is mostly found in fantasy books, which I usually do not gear towards. But this book, I don't know, like I wanted to really, really like it. I gave it 3.5 stars also. I was just like, I couldn't give it 4 stars because I was like, I didn't like the beginning of the book, I didn't really like. The middle of the book I really, really liked. And then the end of the book, I just felt like the end of the book dragged. The conclusion of the bad person was just solved way too fast. I also will say though, I know that this book isn't that great when I actually am listening to the audiobook and I fall asleep and I'm not even tired. That is telling you a lot. And I'm just like, I don't know. I want to appreciate cozy fantasy because like, normal fantasy, you do have your favorite, emotionally support character killed off, and I can't deal with that. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like to read fantasy because I don't like when people die. Cozy fantasy is supposed to be cozy, it's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be whatever. But like, I do feel like I would have enjoyed this book a lot more if I had read Legends and Latte before this. But that being said, I do feel like this book, and I don't know if you agree, Sam, like just added to my dreams of opening up a little bookstore in my town.
That was the fun part, was like Fern like suggesting books and stuff, and I don't know. And she was like, everybody's going to be literate in this town because I'm just going to keep suggesting books to all of you.
Love that, and that would be me. That would be me. That's one of my biggest dreams is to open up a bookstore and a coffee shop and a little bakery. But I just honestly, with this book, I just kind of felt a little bit lost, and I felt like if there was any reveals or big things that like maybe would have meant something if I read Legends and Lattes, it just didn't mean anything to me because once again, I didn't read Legends and Lattes. So I was completely kind of confused. Although I will say I really enjoyed the found family in this book, like all the misfit characters fitting together in a weird family. In some ways, you know, like you just said, Sam, this book felt like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign with all the different races coming together to go on a quest. But in reality, it was just them fixing up a bookstore. I will mention, Sam, that I did read a lot of reviews while putting together like my notes, and a lot of people were actually saying that them building or fixing up a bookstore is the same format that they did in Legends and Lattes.
Oh, so we're having a repeat of the same storyline, just different characters.
Yeah, it's kind of like Allie Hazelwood.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think
The
of.
last book we read of her was like cute science guy, fall in love with her, and yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing.
Copy, paste, change some details.
Although I did see a lot of people did enjoy it for what it was. Oh, I don't know if you listened. Did you listen to this book as an audiobook or did you read it?
And no, I did both. I tandem did it.
I don't know if you knew this, but person who narrates the book is actually the writer.
I was like, well, that's good because at least we know all the names are pronounced correctly, and he's trying to give life to characters like as they are in his brain. So it's like he gave one character like an accent, but that must have been how he imagined that character in his brain. So it was like he didn't have to like tell anybody that this character had an accent. He's just like, and I'm gonna give him an accent. So I mean, that's fun.
Yeah, I think that's super fun. Like, it really brought the story more to life, at least using the audiobook. But anyways, are you ready to go into our spoiler section, Sam?
Yeah.
So if you guys would like to go read this book, then please go do so. Maybe read Legends and Lattes first and then read this book. But if not, if you don't want to be spoiled, please go check out our last episode in which we read The Rosewood Hunt, which was a super, super fun book. If you love the Inheritance game, then you're probably going to love that book. So go check it out. Go check out that episode. But me and Sam are going to be talking about this book and spoiling it. So yeah, let's go, Sam. What would you like to talk about? The skeleton, who is my favorite. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Sam. What would you like to talk about?
Everybody in this town is going to get diabetes.
Listen.
Because everyone's eating like a pound of lassi rolls, which by the way sounded delicious. I want to have one. But it was like every chapter someone was eating like 6 of these rolls, and then poor Pot Roast, he kept eating more. I was like, no wonder you're chunky on the cover. I think everyone's gonna get diabetes in this town.
Well, listen, my favorite part in this thing was when Fern wanted Viv to date the baker, so that way she can get free scones. She's like, I'm pushing you guys together so I can get free baked goods. And listen, I love that because like I obviously love baking, and I actually kind of want to like make some of the recipes or make some of the stuff that she made in the books, but like I found that so much fun. The fact that she immediately was like making baked goods, bringing it over, trying to bribe people. It was just like super fun. Like, who was your favorite character? Did you have a favorite character?
Pot Roast.
Oh, Pot Roast?
I don't know why, but I was just like, I don't know. And I think it's just because of the illustration on the front of the cover of this like really funky looking pug creature. Is called a Griffith. He looks like a pug, and I love him. I would do anything for Pot Roast.
Was he what you imagined?
I'd already kind of figured out when she was talking about the dog and everything. Griffith, thing, creature. I mean, I already knew what he looked like on the front cover because he's right there sitting there begging on the edge. So, I mean, because I saw the picture and then I figured out who he was as a character, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. You're definitely a chunker.
Yeah, I definitely think that he was one of my favorite. And when he, at the end of the book, when you think he jumps into that book and he's going to get sucked away into the portal, I was like, if this owl dog thingy dies, I'm gonna throw my phone because I'm gonna be so upset because for some reason I am like attached to that owl dog, and also Satchel, which is like a skeleton who is like a servant skeleton, but I don't know why. I absolutely loved him. Also, on top of that, don't you love how they found a spell when they noticed that guy was dead or whatever, and they're like, let's just throw it together. Let's just like have it. Which I'm like reading or I'm listening to. I'm like, what? Wait, excuse me. You found a spell in a dead man's?
Nothing can go wrong. they're like, this is Bonedust. And I was like, cool, that sounds dangerous. We're just going to use a little sprinkle. And I was like, no, friends, this is where bad things happen, but it's a cozy fantasy, so nothing bad happened. We just got Satchel out of it.
By the way, I'm gonna say right now, I'm so jealous of Satchel. The fact that you find out that he goes through books so fast because he's literally just staring at both pages and then be like, "Whoop," and he gets it. He doesn't even read it. He just looks at it and he was like, I got it. Listen, I wouldn't have a TBR anymore. I'd be getting through books so fast if I didn't have to read both pages. By the way, what do you think Satchel did after he left? Because at the end of the book, it's revealed that like he left Fern.
I don't know, cause I mean, I guess Fern probably like convinced him to finally go do something that makes him happy. He likes to organize. Maybe he opened up his own like housekeeping business ran by a homunculus. But I don't know. I mean, it's the world of Dungeons and Dragons. Literally, if you ever watch any campaigns or anything like that, and I know you do campaigns too, like the weirdest things happen from the oddest people, and it's just so much fun. So why not have a homunculus satcheled run housekeeping business? He likes to organize and clean. I mean, he can come to my house and clean.
Listen, I can't say anything because I had a campaign in which there was a hamster. No, was it a guinea pig or a hamster? I don't remember which one. And it has to be a guinea pig. And they saved this guinea pig from this evil guy. And then the whole campaign, they're taking care of this guinea pig. And in the end, it's revealed that the guinea pig is actually a robot controlled by the evil guy. And the guinea pig never existed. So I get weird stuff happening in books. By the way, I'm pretty sure my people I play with, they wanted to throw me out the window when they realized what was really happening. No, I absolutely love Satchel and I love Pot Roast. They're like two of my favorite characters. I do really like the fact that this book shows you how it feels to fall in love with reading. I love
Yeah.
how Viv like picks up a book and she's like, I'm not gonna really like this. And Fern's like, just read it. You'll like it. Just read it. And then she reads it and she's just sucked into it. And I just likes how it shows you how it feels to fall in love with a book or fall in love with reading. And there's a quote I do want to say that Fern says, and she says, every book is like a little mirror, and sometimes you look into it and see someone else looking back. And I really like that.
That was sweet. Reading like brought them all together. Like it's just we're just book nerds, and so I appreciated the book nerdiness in it. And I also love too that like everyone's like, you pick the books for us, and Viv's like, she's really good at picking books. Let her pick your books. And I also love too that they did like the like they didn't say it out loud, but like the blind date with the book sale thing. That was fun. I was like that. I mean, I enjoyed that, and then people were like reading off what the 3 words were, and I was like, would I read that? I don't know. And then some of them were like, I would read
Yeah,
that.
I know. I really, really enjoyed that. It made me laugh a little bit because I was like, haha, blind date with a book. I was like, I know where you got that idea.
Mhm.
So I do want to talk about the romance in this book. Okay, there is a summer fling, and I should know that's just a fling. I will say that the romance felt a little bit rushed, a little bit forced, and like I felt like it
Yeah,
really didn't need to be in there. Like I felt like
it did.
no, it didn't. Like I honestly felt like if it was taken out of the book, we wouldn't be missing it at all.
I just feel like if there was going to be romance, that it was going to play like be a bigger part. Like the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes. Because I mean, she comes in and she's just like, ugh, I hate everything. I just want to go and kill people. Blah 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 blah. And then you have this like really nice baker person, and she's like, I'm going to show you the love of baking or whatever, sugar and spice and everything nice. And then it like melts her heart. And then they like, it would have been fun if they like put little more into the romance part of it, because fit more of like the cozy like fantasy ishness of it, of like, oh, isn't that so cute, they fell in love even though it's just a summer fling, and at the end she leaves. But I don't know, it would have been more fun if there was more into it, but it really didn't need to be in there.
Well, I honestly felt like at some point I was like wondering if maybe like they're gonna get back together because like once again I've never read Legends and Lattes,
Who
so I was
knew
like,
she was married already?
yeah, and then I was like, we get to the epilogue. I'm like, okay, her and that girl is gonna be together. Because I'm thinking in my head, like, I read Legends and Latte's description. It said that she's gonna run into someone from her past. I'm like, okay, she's gonna run into the baker. I thought it was gonna be like a reunited love kind of thing. Nope, she's married to someone completely different that I don't don't even recognize. And I'm sure if you read Legends and Lattes, you're probably screaming, being like, no, she belongs with her wife. And I'm just like, no, she belongs with the baker. I was just completely lost. And I think we did to ourselves, Sam. But the cover looks super cute. Although I will say, Sam, I was listening to this book at work and I had my phone open so you can see the cover art. And my coworker walked by and she stopped, looked at the cover art. She said, are you reading some Monster Spice? I was like, no, I'm not. I mean, this book does not have any spice whatsoever. Although there is.
It does, but it's not the book itself, it's the book within a book.
Oh, yeah, that's true. By the way, that always threw me off though. Whenever she'd be reading books and it would tell you like the books that she's reading, sometimes it wouldn't tell you. Sometimes it would just hop right into like, hey, we're reading this book. And I'd be like, wait, like, did I just zone out? Like, what am I listening to? But like, I don't know. I enjoyed it for what it was. Although once again, I was really lost. What do you think each of them did? Like after they left, like what do you think that Fern, I mean, we obviously know that Fern wrote that letter that she was leaving the bookstore and that Viv owns a coffee shop, but what do you think that the gnome and the baker and also, I mean, I guess we already talked about Satchel, what they went to do after they all disbanded?
Her name, Galina, the gnome Galina. I hope she managed to get in with the Ravens because we never really get like I guess a good conclusion for that one. And then the other ogre, Pitts. I kind of wanted more of him, but he wasn't like he was just kind of like there. And honestly, I thought that's where the romance was going to come from, not the baker. I appreciate the baker, but I thought that's where the romance was going to come from. I don't know. Maybe he opened up like a hardware store and now he like builds things or like helps people build things.
Wait, you thought that her and the Pit were going to get together?
Yeah, because they're both ogres.
Yeah, but I knew that she wasn't though because I knew from the first book that she's gay. You can't say, but I'm doing my little
See, but I didn't know, and I was like, oh, an ogre met an ogre, so they're going to fall in love.
That is being very, I don't know what word I'm trying to use, but you're just assuming. You're just assuming that ogres love ogres, okay? Ogres can love other people, even though I'm pretty sure that in Legends and Latte, she fell in love with the ogre.
So, I'm going scientific on this, and interspecies relationships don't usually work out very well. You get donkeys out of them. But I don't know. I hope Fern opens up a bookshop next to Legends and Lattes. That would be fun. And they could just be like best friends. Because like Fern just tells Viv how it is, and their friendship is so much fun. I love them. I think that's it. Did I hit everybody?
Do you have any like final thoughts about this book or anything else you want to like touch on? Because I feel like we talked about a good bit of everything.
I think obviously I'm gonna hold on to my 3.5 stars, and I mean we were definitely gushing more about this book in the non-spoilery section, but I do feel like this book it just might not be my pace. Like I tried it was fun for what it was, but I just don't think as far as fantasy books go, I'm a cozy fantasy read. I mean I might check out Legends and Lattes just for the sake of the fact that we read the prequel and I might as well read the original, but I may not read another book for a long time that's marketed as a cozy fantasy because it just, I don't know, I was kind of bored. I like the adventure. I like the high stakes. I like the like even like the less high stake ones where like they're like political, very like politics and stuff. At least like it's mental intrigue. But this is fun for what it was, 3.5 stars.
You know what? I'll say once again, I'm a romance reader, so I'm not really a fantasy reader whatsoever. But I like the found family in this, and I love the misfit characters fitting together. But I think most importantly, I love the fact that you can tell how much the writer loves books and how much this is basically a love letter to his love of reading. And I can totally get behind that. But if you guys are curious, let's talk about the book that we're going to be reading next week.
I'm so excited.
Me too. Okay, so if you don't know, this is the book that we're going to be reading is actually unofficially the first book we read for the podcast, right, Sam? Or at least the first book of the series?
So this was the second episode, but the first book that we read for the podcast. And now the sequel is finally out.
Yes. So the first book we read was XOXO by Ali O. And we read that book a while ago, and then that's how it was like the love child of the podcast. But this is the first official book that we read. We had to read for the podcast. So this book, which was, if you're curious, was Dark Rise. And now we're going to be reading the second book to Dark Rise, which is actually called Dark Air, which I'm so excited about reading. So this book follows Will, whose allies have just survived an attack from the darkness. Being haunted by the darkness, Will and his friends have to travel to the heart of an ancient world, making new and dangerous allies and revealing shocking secrets of the past. But Will is carrying a dark secret of his own, a secret that will change everything. As Will is pulled into webs of the past, he finds himself tempted by the darkness within. As an ancient world threatens to return, can Will and his friends fight their fate, or will the truth they learn tear the world apart? Now, I do want to say I'm really excited to read this book, but this book is also like over 500 pages long, and usually me, Sam, will only read up to 300 pages. So we're going to split this book into 2 episodes, which actually sounds about right, because of the fact that last time we read this book, we split up into 2 episodes. We're going to be reading the first half this week, and then next week we're going to be reading the rest of the book. But I'm so excited to read it. I think this is going to be fantastic. And yeah, so if you guys would like to support our podcast and like to push our podcast out there, and please remember to support us on Spotify by rating our podcast. Also remember to follow us on Apple, on Spotify, on Audible Podcasts. Basically, anywhere you can like think of finding a podcast, you can probably find us. And also remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can also check out this video we did for Halloween, in which we both told spooky stories, and you can actually see our Halloween costumes because that's super cool. But Sam will tell you about the rest of our socials.
So if you think we are absolutely hilarious, which fun fact, my friends, we are. We do have a TikTok. It is just One More Page Podcast. And for all the pictures, stories, whatever else we decide to post, we do have an Instagram. It is just One More Page. And we are also just One More Page Official on Threads. So go ahead and follow us on our socials, slide into our DMs, come chit chat with us. Have you read this? Have you read Legends of Lattes? Like, should we have read that one first? We probably should have. And we will see you all next week as we review the first half of Dark Air, and then you get to listen to how terrible we are at predicting the endings of books. So
Oh my
that'll be
God.
fun.
I'm going to say the twist of that last book had my jaw dropped. So I am.
We were so wrong about so much, and I'm so excited for this book. So we will talk to you all next Sunday.
Next Sunday. Okay.
All right,
Bye, y'all.
bye.